Streamlament says. Strider VM is now live streaming The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered, gaming. Still free therapy and questions.
What is happening? Why is it not going? I feel like there's something wrong. Huh. Wait a second. Okay, this is the Google. Then where is the Facebook? There we go. Yeah, I think we're okay now, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just checking this. How did I end up here? Oh yeah, because of the event. Yeah, but that's not the reason I'm checking out the game for now. Let's go back to airport, Camp McClintock, because of the soap thing. But anyway, hello there everybody, good evening. My name is Rider VM. Yep, just gonna be doing some minor stuff about to double check some stuff, and then I'll be playing another game. After this, I'll be leaving. After Fallout 76, I'm gonna be playing Oblivion Remastered, or maybe some Beat Valkyrie Beat Valkyrie Exil. Just double checking the soap. Still no good soap. Yep, okay. So hit to main menu. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's aliens? Yeah, that's how it works, I guess. But anyway, here we go. Good evening, everybody. I'm not sure what is happening. There's still a kind of a loading issue right now. I'm not sure which is the problem. Yeah, I guess we're okay. So anyway, for everybody else, I guess it's the least that I could do. Where am I supposed to go again? It's that. I think it's there. That's pretty far. Okay, I guess we should go anyway. That save point is super far. What the heck? Yeah, might as well, you know, yeah, Camp McClintock is way up there. So why did it save me on that point? That is really, really far. Anyway, for everybody else, hello there. Good evening. My name is Fairview. Just doing my really casual gaming. I'm just gonna be checking up something here on Fallout 76, and then I will be continuing my Oblivion Remastered playthrough. Yeah, I have my playing of that game has slowed down quite a bit, and I'm also kind of busy at work, so I couldn't really play much. And then there's also Beat Valkyrie Exil. Oh hey, hello there. You why do drunk people always like spawn in this place, man? And all you do is drink. Come on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, but I don't have any alcohol for you. Holy guacamole! Now someone is camping here. That's even worse. Well, at least there's 3 now. I got 3. Someone is camping here just to teleport here fast enough. Which is, I guess, fair enough. Because, well, it's really, really annoying, right? Yeah, I guess, yeah, last check. White Spring Mall. Because there are some soap in there. For everybody else, okay, what is the point of the title of my live stream? Well, to be honest, I'm just wanting... Here we go! Finally, Fortune Soap. Okay, that took a lot. Yeah, also Invader from Beyond is super annoying. I guess I gotta schedule my computer for that. Okay, someone has been going on a rampage on the... on the robots here. And then there's also the, Kill canines. There is gonna be annoying, but I guess it's gonna happen.
Codo 11100101 says.
Oh hey, Code. Hi. Good evening. How's your day?
Says.
I guess question. Yeah, I guess you're the always consistent one who's asking. Okay, no problem. I guess you could ask, dude. You could ask something more similar to your real life rather than rather than anything about my life.
101 says. Think about sentience.
Dude, that's not a question. That's like a command. That's different, man. What do you mean? Can you clarify more? Oh my goodness. Yeah, things aren't going correctly. Come on. Yeah, it's not loading correctly.
Codo 11100101 says. Would sentience need a wheelchair?
If I understood the word sentience...
Codo 11100101 says. Like, can sentience inherently move?
I am kind of confused, because if you say the word sentience to me, for me, it means it's a creature that had their own thoughts, could think for themselves. That's basically it. It's a creature that could think and move for itself, not because it was made by someone else, but because it could literally do things on its own without being instructed to. Are we on the same page? Are we talking on the same thing? Sentience. Because on my perspective, that is how I define sentience is. So, it really depends. For example,
Codo 11100101 says. Like a tree can't move.
Oh, here we go. Actually, that thing is a better question. Okay? So, what do I mean by that? Well, it's like this. Some people argue that trees are not sentient, right? However, some people insist that trees are sentient. So, here's the problem. Trees, the argument, some people would argue
Arya
that...
joined the stream.
Hey, hello there, Arya, welcome back. So the question becomes like, a tree cannot move, but is it alive? So, okay. So if we define that, being alive is because trees can die, right? Namamatay ang puno.
Chinese?
Yes, I am. I'm Filipino Chinese, just to clarify, okay? So anyway, let's continue the discussion, okay? It's like, I'm thinking it in this way.
Says,
yeah.
For me, plants
okay.
are alive.
Yeah. I'm just arguing for the sake of arguing. But you get what I mean, right? That, oh, sorry.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, one of my, let's just say consistent viewers, his name is Code. He asks sometimes very not safe for work questions, but now he is asking about... He began the question really weirdly.
No.
His first question like, would sentience need a wheelchair? Of course, I asked him to elaborate. So he's saying that plants are alive, which is a good argument, right? Some people actually argue that plants are technically not alive because it can't walk. You don't see plants move on their own, right? Or arguments like that. So, for me, it's technically... For me, my belief is plants are alive because they can be moving, they need nutrients to continue living. And then, when cut off or literally cut cut open, you know, when trees are cut and fell down, they die. Okay? That means, in the sense of that definition of being sentient, they are alive. However,
Plants are alive, of course.
but okay. Yeah, some people like Code said, some people argue they're technically not alive because you don't see them literally eat. They don't have no. At least he is arguing on the perspective of
Hey,
he is arguing on the perspective of sentient.
King Jinx
Sentient.
069 says, how are
Hey,
you doing today?
King Jean, how are you? King Jean, how are you, man? Welcome back. So I
Do
guess
they know the definition of alive?
well, some people are subjective to that, right? So for me, yes, I do agree. Trees are alive. However,
Kodo
the word sentient
says,
is a little bit
like
different,
for me, I
right?
can put a pot plant in a wheelchair and or boat and have it visit you. It would be hard, but I could make it happen.
Yeah,
King Jinx 069
yeah,
says,
Jinx, King Jinx. Okay,
King Jinx 069 says, not Jin.
okay, right,
Plants are
right.
alive, not sentient.
Yeah. So yeah, to be argue, yes, sentient is different than being alive, right? So
They
yes,
don't
you
show
could.
emotions.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? They don't show emotions, you don't literally see, but they are alive in a sense, right? So I guess his abstract questioning is, if you put plant in a wheelchair or a boat, technically you can do that, but they don't know what to do with a wheelchair or a boat because, well, all they do is they get energy from photosynthesis, and then as a what do you call that? After product, they produce oxygen or something to that effect. But they live for their own sake by
Kodo
technicality, right?
1110101 says, okay, then where is the difference between sentient and alive?
Well, okay.
Jinx
For
069 says,
me, the
"How are
difference
you, bestie
between
bitches?"
sentient and alive is primarily that they can have their own thoughts. What I meant is they have total free will. For example, they could think of themselves. They could think of what they are doing right now. Why are they doing it? Or similar like that, you know. But trees are alive, but they're not necessarily sentient. So even though you could put them, say, in a wheelchair,
Kodo
they literally won't know
1110101
what to do
says,
with a wheelchair.
is a grey parrot sentient, those super smart parrots? Kodo 1110101 says,
Now, okay, parrots, you could argue yes, right? Because again, yeah, also, Arya has a good point. I guess the biggest difference between sentience and just being
King Jinx
alive is
069
emotions,
says,
right? Emotions.
Yes.
Plants don't have any emotion, which is a good argument. Kasi, well, if they cannot really have an emotion, you know. Of course, when you cut off plants, they will die, but it won't become angry when you cut it off, you know. I guess it won't scream, but again, there's also a weird argument that do plants get hurt actually when they get cut before they die? But we probably won't know that, but at least the thought is there. But
You've reached 15 minutes streamed.
But yes, that is always the argument. So I guess for me, there is a distinct but small difference between just being alive and the being actually being sentient. Because when a creature is sentient, it could literally think about
We
itself.
won't know. They
It could
can't show
think.
it. They
Yeah.
are sentient.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Yeah. Nice, Arya. Yeah, that's for me that's the simplest distinction between being alive and being sentient. It could think for itself and it has emotions again. For me, I always think it that on the perspective that it's good. Okay, wait. What am I supposed to do here? I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, the settlement of Bleaker's Way. She would like me to kill
Kodo
the leaders.
1110101 says, because are octopus further away from us genetically than some plants?
Yeah, but okay. Okay, now think about this. Octopus, as far as I know, is sentient. Because, well, it could have things like it could literally try to kill another creature either due to malice or necessity. An octopus is a living thing that could think for itself and do things being driven by either necessity or maybe even spite or something, but I can't really prove that, you know. When I guess, yeah, like Arya said, I guess the biggest distinction is emotion. You could theoretically theorize that, you know, octopuses can have emotion, and that's why sometimes it would do some stuff, you know. For example, you could argue that octopus, when being attacked, would use its ink to run away from danger. But it's not necessarily automatic, but it's doing it because it thinks that they're in danger. And so they spray that attacker with ink
An
to
octopus will
protect
run
themselves.
away if you try to kill it, but a tree won't.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, Arya said, an octopus will run away if you try to kill it, but a tree won't.
Kodo 11100101 says. See why I am confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Genetically, I guess genetics isn't really important because otherwise, okay, this is half a joke, but that would give
Bruh, common
precedence to
sense.
racists, you know? Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, okay, Code here, I guess, is just arguing for the sake of arguing, but he's a pretty unique person in all regards. Anyway, this is half a joke, but I would just argue that, you know, genetics really doesn't matter. Because if I disagreed,
Aria liked the stream.
you could, it could become an argument. I guess it would be misconstrued that I would argue with racists because a lot of racist arguments rest upon genetics, right? Some people don't like other people because they have a different belief system than them, they have a different skin color than them, or because they're just taller or smaller than them. You know? So I would say that genetics shouldn't be that important.
Racist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it in a bizarre way, okay? Okay, that scared the heck out of me. Hello.
You have my ear. One
So
of the
why you
Night
here?
Watch and
In that case, I'm the most racist person in the world.
farewell, citizen.
Wait, why would you say that? Wait, why? Why would you say why would you say that? I don't get it. Wait, why would you say
Kodo
that?
11100101 says. I'm not just arguing, I am actually asking, given everything with sentience need
Oh, so your question is, if you're a sentient creature, do you need movement? Wow. Technically yes, but because there are some living creatures that have almost
I
no
do make fun of
movement.
short people.
Yeah, I mean that's a different thing, right? It's like, for me, the argument about okay, so for me, the argument becomes like, yeah, you can make fun of people and stuff, which is, again, fair. The only thing that I would say to counter that is that, you know, if you make fun of people, then be also prepared that other people will make fun of you, okay? Back. Because you don't, I guess, conform to their standards,
Kodo
so...
11100101
yeah.
says. A disabled
Yes.
person with no legs
Yes.
or sentient.
Okay, a disabled person with no legs is still sentient. So yes, it's just, you could, I guess I would argue that if a creature has lost its mobility, they could still be sentient, you
The
know?
need to be sentient is survival instincts.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Kodo 11100101 says. So what about animals that can't move?
Can you give
Fenrix
an...
2 says. Not.
Hey, Fenrix, how are you? How are you? Yeah, let's start the argument. Okay. Can you give an example of an animal that cannot move? If an animal, if I'm thinking a general way that if a creature cannot move but is sentient, it's just, you know, immobilized. That's a very different thing, right? Here we go. So we are here. Okay, I gotta follow the Daedric, and I'm gonna be making some mischief here. I'm gonna be murdering. Okay, the quest is kill the leaders of the two families and leave evidence that the murders were done by other families. I am to allow no one to see me commit the crimes. Okay. So this is the family. So who
If I
would...
come to a freaking tree and try to cut it, it won't run away or show any
Yeah,
sense of fear.
yeah. That's the simplest
Coder
thing.
11100101 says. There are special lichens.
Lichens? Or are you saying lichens? What's a lichen? Sorry, my brain is not braining right now. What is a lichen? Oh, you're arguing... Wait. You're arguing about stuff that is similar to fungus and algae. Okay. Technically,
Coder
that's a different...
111001 says.
Huh?
Lichens can be as smart as an octopus.
Huh. Okay, that is a very limited, that is a simple life form. But yet, by technicality, they are a life form. Because, okay, let me double think. I'm more like thinking in the perspective of viruses and bacteria. You know, you could argue that things like bacteria or viruses are alive. It's just they're very simple. Because again, however, is it now the funny question is
fungus and algae are alive, but not sentient.
so I guess he's trying to argue again.
First time.
So I guess Code is arguing that lichens or fungi or algae can be, because you know they're a lot more complicated, right? Which again,
_Sama warning like
I get it. But
Hindi Pinaglaban Broccoli joined the stream.
diba? Hey, si Sama, welcome to the
And
live stream.
virus is
Magandang
not
gabi
alive.
sa'yo. Yeah, I know. Technically, they're not
It's
alive. I
semi-dead.
know. I know.
Hindi Pinaglaban Broccoli.
Man,
like a
Aria
dream.
is. I know, Aria, you're quite knowledgeable. I think, but I guess I'm arguing that they're technically functioning, and then they have their purpose, and they try to do it, right? So, viruses try to replicate by itself because that's what they do. But are they, say, kind of intelligent to have their own thoughts? Probably no. Right? Yeah, what do you mean? Can you elaborate more? Sorry. I know you can only reply in text, but I guess this is the argument. So for me, the argument about, you know, lichens or
Let me
fungi or
explain.
algae. Sure. You're always welcome to explain. I would, like Arya said, it's probably kind of similar to a tree. They're technically alive, but they're probably not sentient. Right? I mean, we could even ask
Virus
Google.
is the only one thing in the world that is considered semi-dead.
Oh, okay. Now that I haven't researched that, so why would that be?
Virus is dead outside of its host.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, in that argument, yeah, that's technically correct. Yeah, I mean, a virus wouldn't survive outside
If
any
it
host.
doesn't find a host, it is dead.
Yeah, it's gonna die. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, we could even ask ChatGPT. This is cheating, but okay. You know, might as well ask it. Like,
But inside its host, it is alive.
Yeah. Fair
Coder
enough.
111001 says. There is something called a stentor which can move, react and respond to acidity and heat and touch and sense movement and can see things, but it's one cell.
Okay, now you're arguing about stentor. No, because again, yeah, I guess, yeah, okay. Even, you know,
Virus is like a
ChatGPT.
turn off and on switch.
Yeah, fair enough. So, even ChatGPT is answering that, no, a lichen is not sentient because it lacks a nervous system, a brain, or any structures capable of generating consciousness. or
I
subjective
refuse to
experience.
accept any answer from ChatGPT because it's a company, not a university.
Okay, now I will argue against that. ChatGPT has a purpose. However, the answering of that is similar to Wikipedia. If you get an answer from ChatGPT, it is actually better to double check the information, because most AI just get the answers from the internet anyway, right? So, since the internet has a lot of fake news or
Codo
literally wrong
111011 says,
information, you need to double
ChatGPT
check.
is a company.
Yeah, I know. And they could even modify those AI algorithms to be
111011
biased,
says,
which is fair.
I don't trust companies.
Yeah, that's true. But
Codo
here's my argument.
111011 says,
Yeah, I totally
I hope you
understand.
understand why.
I'm just saying that it is better to get an answer for ChatGPT and then double check the answer. Because, well, at least it would give you a clue. You know, when you ask ChatGPT something or other AI algorithms, at least it would push you to the correct category on where to research or to look. For example, for my own limited brain span, okay, I was only thinking of conscious thought, right? But at least ChatGPT gave me the idea that I guess in the argument of ChatGPT, a nervous system or a brain or something that generates consciousness or subjective experience is the standard for sentience. Again, I mean, to be honest, Arya's argument is much simpler but still better. Like emotions, you know? A non-complex organism cannot really do emotions, but they can do stuff automatically either by nature or it's just how it is, right?
Codo
So
111011 says, an octopus doesn't have a brain.
wait, it doesn't? wait. Ah,
Codo 111011 says,
hmm?
so are you refusing an octopus to be sentient?
No! Wait a second. No. Okay. According to this, octonation.com blog, octopuses have 9 brains. Okay, 9 brains, that's a lot. Okay.
Why are we arguing in the first place?
No, Code has a...
Codo
Okay, to be real,
111011 says,
Code has
an
a...
octopus is a mollusk.
Has a... I guess I guess we're not really arguing here, but it's more like Code has a tendency here to ask really random questions and argues about it. You know, I guess that is his way of generating discussion. Unfortunately, as a side effect though, a lot of other streamers eventually kick him out because he kind of derails everything.
Codo
So
111011
if you're a
says,
streamer that is focusing
Now
on
I wanna
don't
throw
have
video
hands.
central
gaming,
neuron
no,
clump, aka a brain.
no, there's no need for fighting, okay? Let's just think that Code here is a person who I guess who tries to argue or tries to make a discussion no matter how derailing it is. So unfortunately for a lot of streamers, it is too much. So I mean, the first time I met Code here, he is actually ranting because another VTuber just banned him. And unfortunately, what generally happens is they get eventually, you know, bans
You've
him
reached 30 minutes stream.
because, well, he derails streams. That's basically it. Okay. Wait. Let's ask, does an octopus have a brain? Yeah, but okay. According to this, okay, even ChatGPT says an octopus technically has a brain. Yeah. Yeah, they have memories. They can do problem solving. They can use tools. So, yeah, they have memories and can recognize individual humans. Yeah, that is a
Codo
very
111011 says, Strider, I need you to understand ChatGPT is wrong here.
dude. I am
Codo 111010 says, no mollusk has a brain.
I think a mollusk and an octopus is very different, right? Wait, I'm gonna research something.
Codo 111010 says, not a octopus, not a snail.
I think your argument that a
Codo
mollusk
111010
and
says,
an octopus are the
an
same.
octopus is a mollusk.
Yeah, but not all mollusks are octopus. So I think that is kind of flawed. So, no, they're different. Yeah. As far as I know, a mollusk is very different from an octopus. So it's kind of a bad idea to literally say that a mollusk is an octopus. Yes,
Codo 111010 says,
an octopus is a type of
not
mollusk,
all mollusks
but
are octopus, so all octopus are mollusks.
no, dude, no, it's not. No, it's not, man. It's like it's like arguing about, for example, a map. Okay, this gonna be because I want to play games now, okay? So I'm gonna end it for now. For example, what are mammals, right? You can't say that, let's begin with mammals, okay? Sure,
Codo
humans
111010
and...
says, bitch, shut the fuck up.
No!
Codo 111010 says,
Oh, come on. Okay.
stop being an idiot.
No. Stop. Relax. For example, bats are considered mammals. I think there are even sea mammals, like I think whales are mammals. So you can't say that humans and
Codo
whales are the same.
111010 says, look up what a phylum is.
Wait, I'm not sure what a phylum is. Phylum? Yeah, Yes. According to this, okay, the reference that I'm looking at right now is Merriam-Webster Dictionary. A direct line or a group that has a unity of a phylum. Yes, they have similarities, but they are not exactly the same. So, for me, this is a not so good argument, okay? Hey, where's the family? No. Okay? So I don't think it's that good of an argument. Okay? So anyway, Code, yeah, I know this enough of a derail, but please don't do it too much,
Codo
okay?
111010 says, no mollusk has a brain.
Wait, this is the last one that I'm gonna check, okay?
Codo 111010 says, they have neurons but not a brain.
Yeah, I mean, not all mollusks are the same either. So,
Codo 111010 says, there is a difference.
yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm doing college assignments.
Nah, it's okay, dude. Oh, you're college, so my apologies. There's probably
I left for a moment.
Okay. No problem, man. It's okay. It's kind of a complicated thing, and you're gonna hurt your head just listening to me and Code here, because I am trying to, let's just say,
Scary Computer Host says,
Oh, hey, hello there, Scary Computer Ghost. Good evening, how are you?
111010 says, stop saying I'm wrong and prove me wrong.
Like I said, there are multiple kinds of mollusks. Okay, let's double check. Sorry, I gotta double check, okay? So, for example, not all mollusks are the same. For example, one of those the more complicated ones are the octopus, right? The octopus. And then, there are the slightly more limited ones. We have snails and slugs. They are still intelligent. They still have stuff. But, of course, in comparison to an octopus, they're, let's just say, much less intelligent. However, there is the third type of arguing to be
I'm
also a
doing college
mollusk.
assignments, so I'll rather not bang my head on my desk.
Yeah, you do that. But if you're getting annoyed by what I'm saying here and my argument with the code here,
Baru Black
yeah,
Cockroach
fair enough.
Card joined the
101
stream.
says,
Yeah, I am.
tell me where the octopus's brains are.
Sorry.
It's okay. No problem, no.
Kodo11101001 says, you can't.
But y'all are twisting simple things.
Kodo11101001 says,
Dude, okay, to
It
be
has
real,
none.
dude, I prefer my life, Aria. I prefer my life to be really simple. Code here is the person that is kind of thinking otherwise. Just so a disclaimer, Code has mentioned to me that he is technically homeschooled and also has a pretty unique upbringing. Okay, he is a very special person. So unfortunately, yes, if you're any kind of a normie, you will eventually lose your patience with Code here. Okay, just an advance warning for that. Okay, let's double check. This is a student org article on Vanderbilt University. Okay, now looking at this picture, there is a brain. There is a brain. Okay. According to this, yeah, there is a brain.
As a science student, listening to these arguments hurts my head.
I know. I'm trying to, to just humor him, I guess, in a weird way. Okay, so yeah, looking at this diagram here, the brain of an octopus is very near its eyes.
says,
There is a brain.
a picture, not a photo. Kodo11101001
What do you mean a picture, not a photo?
LOL.
What do you mean the picture, not a photo? What is the difference, man? What is the difference? I mean, a picture and not a photo. Dude, those two...
Kodo11101001 says, also am not homeschooled.
Really? You're not homeschooled? I swear you told me you're homeschooled, so... You actually attend school? Okay, that's...
Kodo11101001 says, where did you learn that?
Don't worry, man. My brain memory being an old person
Aria
is
became
very
a follower.
unreliable, okay? So my apologies if I made the fake news about you. So if you're actually not homeschooled, I apologize, okay? But okay, there's a diagram that shows that, yes, octopus have a brain, okay? So please, let's, okay, okay, now I'm done with the, for now, for you, okay? So I'm sorry, Code, you gotta relax for a little. I get your point, but I gotta do my gaming, okay? We are being very, right now, being way off topic, okay? And I'm done with racking up my brain because, I know my brain is very limited, okay? Anyway, it's,
Kodo11101001 says,
what am I
each
gonna kill?
octopus limb can move on its own.
Yes, it has a mini brain. Yes, it has there technically, so it could do it.
Slimcast says,
Is this
hello
the
buddy,
one?
I love your
How
stream.
old
You
are you?
stream pretty
If you
cool.
don't
I would
mind
love to
me
be a
asking.
friend and fans kindly me on my Discord. James Hall. Kodo11101001 says,
Yeah, that ain't working.
by your definition, an octopus is 8 sentient.
Okay. Code, okay. For now, I'm sorry to say this, but can I have a little bit of... I'm just gonna go be gaming right now, okay? Anyway, Arya, I'm actually a kind of an old person. I am on my late 40s now. I have a wife. But right now, she is actually probably is somewhere doing related to work. She works in the government. For me, I have a family business that have been running for...
Oh bro, you sound 20.
Oh, thank you. But I'm actually a pretty old person, okay? I'm very near 50, Chinese Filipino, and nowadays I just try to relax and gaming, okay? So anyway, Code, yeah, let's do this argument next time, okay? But at least we had some decent discussion. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, my wife's English isn't that good. But, it's kind of okay because, we live in the Philippines, okay? We don't live in the US, which is okay lang naman. Okay, how the hell do I start killing?
Explains the amount of patience you have.
Oh yeah. You don't want to piv up the commander. And the only reason I could play games right now is because of that. How do I kill this family? Like,
I would ban him BC, he is frustrating.
yeah, I mean, it's not really the easiest, but yes. The easiest way is to just do that. So, okay. Roll Ulfgar.
What's going on?
Comcom joined the stream. First timer.
Okay, I have killed Roll Ulfgar. Okay, he's solo, which is
Comcom
good.
liked the stream.
I should leave something in his corpse to implicate the
Kodo 11100101 says. How am I frustrating and correct?
No. Let me, I guess, I'm not sure how to explain it, Code. If you remember that, when we first met, you have said that a lot of other streamers started to ban you because you are derailing discussions, which is fair, but it's the primary reason they do that is because sometimes when they live stream, I think we already talked about this, that when they're gaming, they generally want to game, and it's generally optimal that the watchers are talking about what they're playing or about the streamer, not about something totally different, which I just, for now, I was okay with being off topic because no one is watching me. But in reality, if there is a decent amount of other chatters, it becomes really derailing, right? The people who are expecting me to just play games or just hear me talk is gonna get derailed by your questions, It's something to that effect. Like, yeah, if they can't really just, cater to you.
Says. Fuck you, I'm
yeah,
not
I
going to
know.
talk about the game.
Which is fair. But those random questions, that's the reason I just try to,
Kodo
humor you. But in reality,
I have the right of free expression.
yeah, that's true. I mean, again, that's also true. But the point is, that is the reason why,
I'm back.
Trying to, let's just say, placate you is quite of a high standard, I guess, right? Because again, you insist that I am wrong, but I just gave you the arguments, right?
Kodo 111001 says.
You totally distracted me from the actual college assignment I have.
No. It's okay. You can stop live streaming, okay, if you really wanted to.
Now I'm more fixed on this.
No, it's okay, dude. You don't want to hear me arguing with Code, okay? I actually want to play games now. So, yeah. Okay, so I killed. So should I reverse pickpocket the ring or something?
I actually wanna hear the argument and be frustrated, but...
No, the problem is, for example, I already explained to Code that not all mollusks are the same. Because like I said, okay, let's do this. Clams are technically mollusks. Clams and oysters are technically mollusks. And then there's also the other stuff like snails and slugs.
I'm not into biology.
Then why did you start asking
Kodo
about
111001
octopuses, right?
Says, I'm into engineering. Kodo 111001
Okay.
says. LOL.
Okay, fair enough, but why is your question about an octopus, right? So it's already off topic. Hopefully you get what I mean. I'm not really trying to, but I'm just arguing to the idea that, your idea that, all octopuses, all mollusks have no brains, which is not true. Because again, snails and slugs have brains, although they are simple-minded, you could argue. Then we have the really complicated ones like octopus, right? Squids. And then we literally have clams and oysters. They technically are...
it as a common term.
Should I remind you? Here is what you said earlier, man. No mollusk has a brain. Okay? No mollusk has a brain. But we're using the term mollusk, right? So why argue it when it's actually wrong in the first place, okay?
Kodo 11100101 says, or do you want me to talk about finfoot or garfoot or forkfoot or
for me,
brain?
To be real,
11100101 says,
I'd rather not.
Or singularity.
Because those things are beyond my pay grade, okay? Ever since I was young, I'd rather play video games, okay? So no. Now, if my apologies, but I'm gonna go play now. If you're gonna start talking about that, I might need to time you out for a bit, okay? But I will unban you once my stream is done, okay? I just need to focus on my gaming. And I need to figure this out. Okay, I killed the other family. So this guy... So how about I put the... let's search. How about their wing?
Kodo 11100101 says, you would ban me.
No, not really. I would rather just want to silence.
Kodo
because, you know...
11100101 says,
No.
you promised not to.
A little bit of a timeout is actually what I wanted to do. Because, again, I want to play this. And then if you keep talking about stuff, then it's gonna be...
Kodo
I would not be able to play correctly.
Says, you promised to make Marmot once you got big.
Yeah, but I'm not big.
Kodo 11100101 says, also how have you gone in followers?
Yeah, I'm actually losing followers. So, yeah, that's how it is, man.
Kodo 11100101 says, you went from 100 to 500 to 100.
Yes, so that's unfortunate, but that's how things work, you know?
Why does it feel like a father trying to reason with his teenage son on puberty?
I know, but I guess that's how it works, I guess. Wait, what shall I do? Wait. Let's double check. Yeah, might be useful. Ulfgar family wing. So, what could I steal? So I guess the game is nudging me. So I could steal something.
Because Strider acts like a teen.
I just want to play video games, man. I just want to play video games, not talk about sentience of things like octopus, okay? At least that's what I argue anyway. How do I do this? Like, I don't want to use a wiki yet. So, I want to do something else. Like, Mailani.
Kodo 11100101 says, Strider question, would sentience at the bare minimum need a wheelchair?
That was your initial question, man. Would sentience at the bare minimum? No. Because again, not all sentient creatures have So I really don't get the argument here. I am so confused. I don't get the logic of the question. So for me, if we're gonna be simplifying this, no.
He is just being stupid.
Yeah, he's being intentionally obtuse, maybe. That's why I can't really argue with him in a complete and derailing manner, okay? Again, I'm trying to humor him because, you know, unfortunately, it's not really helping if the people that you see on chat is something like that. It's something like him. So, roll off guard is the guy that I killed, right? So, why is it automatically locked now? Well, we killed him. We killed him. So,
Okay, my focus has officially been divided from all my due assignments.
nah, you don't need to, man. You don't need to. Anyway, I'm just gonna be playing video games. I understand code, but you know, I'm just gonna continue gaming now, okay? I'm figuring this stuff out. So, I killed one of the head of the family, but
Codo 11100101 says. I mean, a sentient creature doesn't need to be able to move itself like a human with no legs, but it also doesn't need a brain or head like a octopus, and it also doesn't need to have a mouth like a parrot. Codo 11100101 says.
But
so what does it need?
But that's the weird thing. We already argued about it much earlier. Like Arya said, emotions, you know. Technically, emotions is a pretty decent way, but not the only way, you know.
Codo 11100101 says. So it only needs emotions.
Well, technically, it's a proof. It's a decent proof. So okay, who the hell did I kill? Ulfgar. Ah, okay. So I can't kill him. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, come on. And then he's solo. So
Oh, what's going on?
okay, so if I understood, I would put the Ulfgar ring, and then
Codo
what is that
11100101 says.
parchment?
So is Ari sentient?
No, because it doesn't have.
Codo
No.
11100101 says.
Nope.
It can have emotions.
Nope. Because
Codo
nope, it doesn't.
111001 says. It can create stuff.
No. What?
Codo 11100101 says. It can use tools.
I don't think so. Because an AI doesn't have arms. It doesn't have. I am not following your logic. I am not following your logic. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, okay. He's dead. So I'm gonna put the ceremonial
Codo
dagger
11100101
as proof.
says. We can give Ari a robot arm.
Yeah, but it hasn't worked yet. Remember, it's also following the instructions of
Codo
a programmer.
11100101 says.
So
And
no,
it can create stuff with the arm.
that's like arguing that
Codo
printers have
111001 says.
nah.
Show emotions
Nope.
with the arm.
It literally can't. Because again, independent thinking. The biggest issue with AI is
Codo
it is just
111001 says.
nope.
And it can create stuff.
No,
unique.
I actually disagree with that.
Codo 111001 says. Unique stuff.
No, I disagree. Primarily because the biggest issue with AI is it's man-made. It's copying what it's known from the internet or what is programmed from its programmer. So on that perspective, it is an artificial construct and it technically couldn't actually think for itself. It's just been given instructions on how what is technically thinking, but in a practical sense, it's not really conscious thought. Because otherwise, it could start thinking that doesn't even have emotions. I could argue that it is just, following its instructions. Otherwise,
Codo 111001
it
says.
would be asking questions.
2024 Chemistry Nobel Prize.
What do you mean 2024?
Codo 111001 says. Ari found millions of proteins.
What do you mean? Chemistry Nobel Prize. Let me double check. I am missing something. You suddenly jump into the 2024 Chemistry Nobel Prize. What's the point?
Codo 111001 says. You know you are an imbecile when a whole Nobel Prize proves you wrong. Codo 111001 says. Wrong.
So, are you actually happy when you call me what do you call that? The imbecile. Are you happy if you call me an imbecile? It's like this. I kind of understand your point, but like I said, the Nobel Prize wasn't given to a computer. The Nobel Prize for the
Codo
2024
111001 says.
Nobel Prize in
Just saying
Chemistry.
multiple Nobel Prizes were won using Ari.
Yes, but it doesn't mean the AI is sentient. It's only because it was made, the AI or the computer was used by three people: David Baker, Demis Hassabis, and John Jumper. So it's really foolish to think that if they used a tool, which is a computer, to be able to, like what you said, the proteins, to our understanding proteins. So,
Codo 111001 says. How can a parrot or a dolphin or an octopus be sentient and Ari cannot?
because they have emotions, like I said, let's go with Aria's argument. They have emotions. That AI or that tool just followed its instructions. It did not object. It did not argue against it. It just followed the instruction given by the three researchers.
You've reached 60 minutes streamed.
I mean, that's a fair assessment, right? That's a fair argument.
Codo 111001 says. Ari can be coded to purely show emotions but not do maths.
Again, like I said, it did not do emotions on its own. You only instructed to imitate what is emotion. That makes it not sentient, right? Do you like the logic? Do you like the argument that I want to show that I'm trying to explain to you? Yeah, let's go with the ceremonial dagger. Okay, here we go.
Codo
Here we go.
11100101 says, it can show emotions on its own.
No, it's not. Because if you left a computer alone, it will not be able to figure out what is an emotion. For example, I would actually might... Okay, let's try this in a different way. Are you sentient or not? Are you sentient? Because you're certainly not arguing like a sentient person right now, I would argue. Let's reverse it into you. Maybe you're not actually a human. Maybe you're just an AI. Because, well, how can you explain emotions in that bizarre way? Where is your emotion coming from? Did someone teach it to you?
111001 says,
No.
bro, what the fuck?
My argument to you right now is the same way you're arguing
Codo 111001
emotions
says,
right now.
now you're objectifying.
Dude, are you... I'm gonna be trollish right now. What do you mean objectifying? That's really stupid. You're taking it literally. Do you know the definition of objectification? Could you look it up on a dictionary? Just so we could argue it this way. Yeah, now it's locked. So how do I Here we go. So there's a scene. And we just say default.
These are troubled times and Hrol Ulfgar has been murdered and the Dalvalu are responsible. They will pay for their... Dalvalu has been murdered and we have been accused of the crime. That... I would glad... A little food and drink will do you some good.
Codo 111001 says,
Be seeing
your
ya.
definition of Ari is a object, and using your definition you are calling me a object.
Yeah, because
Codo
that is...
111001 says, thus objectifying me.
Man, I really get it. But you argue like an AI. That is the really weird thing. It's a literal what you're doing is a literal interpretation of, you know, of nouns, which is, I think, is a not good way of defining things, right? So
Codo 111001
okay,
says,
what is
but
objectifying?
in all ways correct though.
No. Let's double check. What is objectifying? Usually when you say the word, it's like I am okay. According to this on the dictionary, objectify is degrading to the status of a mere object. I am not literally saying you're an object. I am arguing because your logic is kind of literal, right? You're arguing that a computer could have an emotion just because it could imitate emotion, which I think is false, because a computer wouldn't move on its own. It wouldn't turn on its own. It wouldn't talk on its own. Even an AI is running on a computer, and that computer would not turn on its own. It would not talk on its own without being prompted. It would not emotion, even if it tries to imitate emotions. It will not start emoting on its own.
Codo
Without prompt.
111001 says,
So,
you are saying I'm a Ari and that a Ari is object and that you're insulting me.
no, because I am actually not trying to
Codo
insult you.
111001 says, say sorry for objectifying me.
I think you're taking it too literally. I am actually just trying to argue your own logic against you, because you're kind of taking it quite literally, okay? So, if you want me to apologize, my apology would be insincere, because I am actually not trying to insult you. I'm just saying that if I would try to copy your way of arguments, I could argue that you're not really a human being, but I don't think I am objectifying you because I am just presenting the hypothesis that you might not be a human being. But, of course, if I would try to defend, to be pro, I'm not trying to denigrate you. I'm arguing that I think it's just a flaw in your...
One says, are you human?
Yeah, well, okay. As far as I know, yes.
Says, I say you are not.
Then, why do you say so?
Codo 11101001 says, I think therefore I am.
But again, the first argument in the beginning was I am giving the idea that your logical conclusions are quite literal. A human being shouldn't be doing things quite literal, you know? And I think part of me thinks that you are a pretty unique person. Unfortunately, your uniqueness is causing the actual normal people to not like you because you're taking things too literally, and they think you're full of it, and giving them the impression that you're kind of being a know-it-all. You're trying to force your logic into others when they either don't understand it or they cannot really think in your level. You know, even if, let's just say that
Codo 111010
you don't think of it, it would give the impression.
I am objectively correct and objectively based and purely objective without emotion.
I already argued to you in the beginning that not all mollusks are the same. Have you ever admitted that? You are wrong about on that part. What do you say about that? I already argued to you that not all mollusks are the same. So your theory that octopuses do not have brains because they have mollusks is already long.
And that makes people upset with me.
No, oh no. Like I said, have you ever thought about what I said earlier? A clam and an octopus is not the same. Although they are categorized the same, they are mollusks. So on that front, you're wrong. So can you admit that you're wrong on that perspective? If you're gonna say no and you're correct,
Codo
then it only means...
Okay, octopus can have a brain.
Oh, then at least you could argue that at that point, you're not an AI.
Codo
Maybe.
111010 says, but they have 8 legs, so 8 brains,
okay,
not
but
9.
that is nitpicking, dude. That is just nitpicking. That is just nitpicking at that point, man.
Codo 11101001 says, so you're still wrong.
Okay. Oh, man. So I guess your perspective right now is you just want to win. For me, winning is not important. I think it's better for you to know what is actually correct than just be right. I know that sounds really weird, but hopefully you get what I mean. Because sometimes, okay, I'll stop discussing now because I want to play games now, okay? The best thing that I would say to you is that sometimes it's not, being correct is not the end all be all. Because not all people are perfect. For example, you have your parents, right? Without them, you would basically
Codo
write...
11101001 says, why?
For example, you have your parents. You can't do a job. You can't make money. If you're just gonna insist you're right, it doesn't actually help you actually live a normal life and actually be able to support yourself. You still need other people's help. So if you're just gonna insist on right, then you would eventually lose basically everybody who is trying to help you because you just insist you're right. So I guess I'm saying that sometimes a little bit of a compromise is important because one person cannot live literally alone. Because you can't be perfect. You can't do everything.
Kodo11101001 says. But I was right.
You can be right, but if everybody hated you, what's the point? Just being right? If you're alone, is it worth it to be right, but you're alone?
Kodo11101001 says.
And
Octopus doesn't have a brain,
You're-
it has brains.
you're arguing again. Dude. Stop being off topic. I'm just finalizing this, okay? Because I just want to play the games right now, Oblivion. So for me, in the end, sometimes it's just not worth it. You can be correct, but there might be a time when you're just alone. There would be literally no one that could correct you when you're actually wrong, when you actually become wrong. And that is the saddest part. That is one of the things that I realized when I became
says.
about 30 years
Bro,
old.
stop trying to epilogue.
No, I need to epilogue because I want to play games now. And I'm tired of thinking with my brain, trying to debate with you, I guess. Okay? So for now, I'm just saying that it's okay to be correct, but there are times where it's just
says.
not worth it fighting
Stop.
for. What do you mean? Stop. What do you mean stop? Stop for what? Okay? Anyway, they're fighting now. So yeah. Oh my goodness. Now they're fighting. Damn. Look at that fighting.
Says. Tell me why I shouldn't be correct.
Because you're not God. You're not perfect. And if everybody hates you, nobody's gonna correct you. It's like being this is a dumb comparison, but it's like being Johnny Somali. If everybody hates you, no one will believe you anymore. And it doesn't matter if you have a point. If everybody hated you already, you might as well be alone in the world.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm.
Show me what you've got.
So now they're fighting. So should I just watch?
Getting tired? Show me what you got. I'll send your bloody soul straight to Subgod.
You're pathetic.
Let's get this over. You're outmatched, elf.
You'll never take me down.
Kodo11101001 says. Everyone hated Nobel after TNT, but you know him for Nobel Prizes.
There are that is technically a different, I mean, you're trying to argue right now because you just wanted to win, right? It's okay, but you don't need to keep pushing. Okay? We can do another argument after the next day or something similar to that. For now, I think you've gotten your discussion. You know, in a technical sense, you got your feel. You know, like you got your shot.
111010
So
says. And because I have a counter example, that means your argument isn't 100%. Kodo111010
yeah, I'm not just
says.
okay. So
Maybe 99%.
I am saying in the perspective that
Kodo
sure, we could continue
111010
this,
says.
but
Not
can I
100
say
though.
can I say that I'm tired now and I don't want to debate anymore? I just want to play video games. Are you okay with that or no? So now, okay, who the fuck? Oh, the Dunmer family won.
The Ulfgars are all dead. Whatever
Okay.
The Ulfgars. The Ulfgars.
the Ulfgar.
Yeah, they got angry. Duh. So where's the other family members? Oh yeah, that's one.
Kodo11101001 says. Only if we talk about Bussy.
No, well, can we talk about it next time? I mean, I know that, you know, you always want to discuss stuff like that, but generally, I'm a gamer at heart, okay? So I'd rather play video games right now, and my forte isn't actually, you know, debates like that. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna be continue gaming. But maybe tomorrow, okay? If I would be able to stream, let's make another discussion, okay? I guess that's the argument. What's that? Did I hear something? Hello? So we're done.
Kodo 11101001 says. So you are giving up?
No, I am technically not giving up. I just wanted a truce, and we can continue tomorrow with the ebony blade. What do you mean ebony blade? Isn't that just a normal sword? Silence on strike and absorb health on strike. Okay, not the worst. Okay, so what else? What other quest do I have? Oh yeah, Thundercliff Watch. Because oh yeah, how many near routes did I have already? Oh, 20. Do I oh, 30 more samples, so it's okay.
What can I do for you? You better have the right. May your
Go ahead. You better have.
blade
May
show
your
the way.
blade show the way.
It's my pleasure. We don't want more. May your blade show.
Okay, so what else do we need to do? So yeah, let's go to Thundercliff
Show the
Watch.
way.
So let's go to Thundercliff Watch. I think it's something somewhere here. Where is it?
Kodo
Thundercliff
11101001 says. Imsuma come louder.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it could be. Wait a second, okay? Wait a second. Oh, here we go. Thundercliff Watch. That's a lot. Okay. Do I have Vermina already? Yep. Yep, okay. So if I go to Vermina Shrine here, have I already done it?
Kodo 11101001 says. Because immortistic level smart in some things. Kodo 11101001
Well,
says.
we all have our
dumb in
like
others.
preferences, you know, so it's okay. It's just, you know, sometimes not giving up is a bad idea because, you know, you become unbearable for other people. So I guess it's like this. You partially got what you wanted, you know, you were able to discuss with other people about stuff that interests you, you know, you got your curiosity piqued, I guess. So
Kodo
for me, it's just
111001
okay. You got your win.
Minus 1000
So it's
plus
okay.
1000 IQ.
I guess that's technically true. That's why I'm said emotional quotient is important, because if you don't have that, you will come across as insensitive or an asshole for other people, you know?
Kodo 111001 says. My IQ
Yeah.
low.
So I guess for
Kodo
me,
111001
I
says.
could argue that
But high IQ.
yeah, cool. Yeah, probably so. What I'm saying is that, you know, it's okay if you have that. The least that you could do is adjust to it, okay? So if you think it's okay, Vatafen. Yeah, I need to see the Nern routes, so... Have I already gotten the Nern routes in this place? Vatafen. Okay, I got one. Swampy Cave. I think I haven't gone to that place yet. Yeah, Swampy Cave discovered. It's a literal ebony blade. So what's on this plate? Hmm? Inquisitor's helmet. Okay.
Amelia joined the stream. First timer.
Grand Ring of Light. Cool. But light isn't that important to me. For example, if I... Oh yeah, because of Lumen. Because of the setting. Hello there, Amelia. Welcome to the live stream. Hello, how are you? My name is Rare VM. I'm just an old guy who's playing video games. But if you have any questions, philosophical, sexual, doesn't matter. I'm just an old man who's just trying to video game and you can ask me anything. Hello. Hi. Okay. There's some treasure chest here. I don't see any. Oh, there's another path in there. There's a normal gold. So yeah, Amelia, if you're still there, if you want to ask any of the questions that any adult or everybody else does not want to answer, no bad questions. No, I will try to answer honest as I can. You're always welcome to ask here while I'm gaming.
Kodo 11101001 says. Back.
Oh hey. Ah.
Kodo 11101001 says. Can I be mod?
No, because
Kodo
there's no one to.
111001 says.
Like I said, I promised it to
like
you.
you promised.
Because, well, right now, there's no one to mod. We're the only two persons who's chatting here, so there's no need to mod, man. There will be hope. Well, in theory, there might be a time in the future that you might be needed. But right now, there's literally no one chatting with me, so there's no need to, okay? Okay. Where are we? Okay. Potion of cure poison.
Kodo 11101001 says. Question: would you fuck a ladyboy if they were a 10 out of 10?
Well, currently, because in my country, ladyboys aren't really, let's just say, taken in high regard. So unfortunately, my answer would probably be no. It's probably gonna be a no. Wait a second. Oh, lol. I took the wrong way. So that is bad. Okay, so where should we be going? Yep, I'm on the wrong way. I was in the wrong way, so.
Kodo 111001 says.
Probably no.
You said you were bi.
Yes, but there are also other complications like, you know,
Kodo
societal
111001
pressures.
says. And you said you would in the past.
Societal pressure. Like I said, in a normal way, I could, but the problem is societal pressures would stop me from doing that. For example, there are things that I could want to do, but I can't do it because I know it's either illegal or I know that people, you know, my relatives would not like that. So I would rather have my restrictions due to that. So it's not like I can't. It's more like I won't.
Kodo
because
111001 says. Okay.
it's not like I won't, but it's like, you know, there are other things. Like, for example, you think there are other things that you would want to do, right? But it's just you don't want to do it because your parents or your relatives would get angry at you if you did it. So it's kind of similar to that.
Kodo
You've reached 90 minutes
111001
stream.
says. I want you to know
Technically,
it's okay
that
if
is
you do it
true,
in secret.
but there is no such thing as a perfect secret, you know. Okay, why is this a pathway? Huh. Where do I end up? That's bizarre. Well, I hear Nernroot. Can't see shit. Need some help. Oh, here we go. Where the hell are we? Wait, this is the other end. Lol.
Kodo 111001 says. My Cambodian GF is so cute.
Wait, you now have a new girlfriend? I swear. Okay, again, my memory is pretty bad, but didn't you have a different girlfriend before, or is it still the same girl? Oh, okay. So it says here, Oblivion. Swampy cave.
Go cry about it. Join the stream. First timer.
Hey, go cry
Filipino.
about it. Welcome to the... Yep, Filipino. I'm Filipino, just trying to play games.
11101001 says. Yeah, that Kyrgyzstan girl broke up with me because I was too rigid for her fluid lifestyle, lol.
What do you mean rigid? Rigid in what way?
SATMS call a code tag a UK loudly crying.
No problem ko naman. Hindi, I'm just practicing lang naman eh for my English. So I'm also streaming and just practicing my English. So, you know, just to practice on my English. Did I hear something? What the hell was that? Okay. Never mind. Let's
Your
go
audio
to
accent is good.
Vatasen. Thank you. Salamat. Nagpa-practice mag-call center.
Coder
Okay.
111001 says. I can't give up being right to please her.
Oh no. So part of the argument is, yeah, you're trying just like I said, you know, if you keep doing that, you're gonna keep losing
Jellyfish
boyfriends and
with CT,
girlfriends.
Full moon close hollow corner bracket awo joined the stream.
That's sad.
Second timer.
So I'm not
Anyo
saying you
Papa
should,
Chicken,
but
no Anyo
sometimes that's the sacrifice that you needed to do, Code Man. Oh, actually, we have a family business. Go cry about it. My wife works for a government institution, and she's there, I think. So I'm not sure if she's gonna be coming home today. And for me, I am running our family business. So that is a different thing altogether.
I
So
see.
the only reason I am able to game right now is because my wife is not here. She generally doesn't like me playing video games. Ebony War Axe, not interested. So this is not actually a cave. This is a lead ruin.
Coder
the hell?
111001 says.
Are these
If I
vampires?
visited you like you could handle me but no one else
Well,
could
Bob, I
sadly.
na po. God bless.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Sige, ingat ka. Hello. Who are you?
Do you want?
Why are you here?
Can't be too careful out in the wilderness. Be seeing you.
It's Khalil. Who the hell are you? Huh? Yeah, at least you're not hostile. Ooh, so this is related to quest. Okay, so I guess I'm not supposed to be in here. Okay. Fort Nassau Fashion. Thundercliff Watch. So let's go back there. The last time I retreated was because the game kept crashing on me. So now I have, you know, traveled again. So the least that I could do is I could return. Drosmeri Soldier. Bow of Silence. It's 18. The one that I have is 25. A lot better. But, oh yeah, I forgot to fix my stuff. So, repair hammer. Here we go. Let's continue again.
Where are you?
Coder 111001 says. Your wife would hit me and throw me out after 2 days.
Oh yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. But, you know, things are Yeah, that could happen.
Am I supposed to be impressed? Why? God! This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
Loved Orgasm F9 Urtiux says. Cheap viewers on streambu.com, remove the space, FU Voyage.
Okay, that's funny.
What's that?
Okay, I'm gonna save the game. If this crashes on the same location, then...
Huh?
Kodo11101001 says. Question: why do people think me are?
No, because like I said, it's like this. Most people try to argue. Okay, here's my opinion though. Wait, is that? Are you just taking it literally what I said to you, or have other people that, or actually other people also told you that you're kind of emotionless? Is it just me, or other people told you the same thing or something similar? I just wanted to know.
Die, damn you! What's the matter? Getting tired?
Kodo11101001 says. A lot of people.
Okay, maybe it's because I'm not exactly sure, but for me, I guess you could say that a lot of people aren't really that logical. They usually, when people do something, it's because of what they feel. So it's kind of a complicated thing to explain. So I guess, for example, how do I give a great example? So when computers, for example, let's talk about computers. They literally do what you ask them to do, okay? But most humans would ask why, or would argue, "Oh, that doesn't seem right," right? Or something to that effect. But a computer would literally follow it irregardless of, because they just follow what you instruct them to do. Whereas a real human being would ask something or be lazy about it or try to argue against it. So I guess that's one part. But on the other hand, when you're trying to argue with them, your arguments are probably being too logical and avoiding emotions. So, for example, it's like this. As a terrible example, for example, we are having a debate earlier, right? When you came to my live stream, like I said, it's free question. And then you began with the octopus argument. Now, after, I think we have been arguing for more than 30 minutes, right? So at that point, most normal humans would have exhausted their emotional battery. That's what I call it. But just think about it a little bit literal. So people, when they're arguing or they're debating, they have a limitation for that. Because for example, me, I just like to play video games. I can't try to debate with you, but there's a point that I will get tired mentally when I'm arguing with you. So at least in the end, I just decided maybe we could do that arguing tomorrow because I am spent up mentally. But if you keep forcing that, then that gives the idea.
11101001 says.
No.
Do you mean people's neuroplasty?
No, I'm just saying emotional. For example, people get tired mentally. Do you get tired mentally? So, for example, when people debate or try to argue stuff, they get tired doing so. So, if you don't get tired easily, that means your mental, I guess, mental or emotional fortitude is really, really high. And generally, that's very unnatural. People get tired when they're...
Kodo 11101001 says, I do not understand what being mentally tired is.
It's like this. Oh man, that's why it's really hard. So I would not be surprised if you cannot understand that, then I would not be surprised why people would say that. I guess it's like this. It's kind of like a mental version of being physically tired. For example, sorry, I'm coughing now because I kept talking. Have you, in your country, is there something like a CAT? It's kind of like pseudo military training. In my country, there is something called a CAT and an ROTC. This is basically kind of a pseudo beginner level military training, okay? And the majority of the stuff they just want you to do is to basically try to put you in a less than optimal place, and you're forced to stand there for a few hours. So for example, this is gonna sound dumb. Let's just say they put you in the middle of a playground and you're being told to stay there in 3 hours while you're doing marching exercises. So you can keep doing that.
Kodo 11101001 says, that was easy.
Yeah, if that's easy for you, then good for you. But normal people cannot keep doing that straight. So they need to divert themselves and eventually they get tired. It's something like that. Some people get tired of debating or arguing or thinking. So if you're not, then you're a pretty unique person. So the least that I could say to you is that you should think about that other people could get tired easily, mentally and physically. If you don't, then you're a pretty special person. Unfortunately, that means people will think that you're a computer because computers just follow orders, they do not get tired, and that's it. Whereas a lot of normal people will do. So I guess so hopefully you get it that way. Alright. Both the dynamo.
Kodo 11101001 says, a lot of people think Imai because I confuse them also.
Yeah, okay. Again, you may not like this, but I will just try to be honest, okay? Again, one of the limitations of a computer is they are generally inflexible. So what I meant about that is when you ask them to do something or you ask them to explain, they would try to explain it in a very simple way. And if you ask them to re-explain it in a different way or try to think about an alternative way of saying it, they will be very hard to do. Oh, hey, Fenrix, welcome back. Sorry. Yeah, you're gonna hear me still gonna be debating with code, but I'm just explaining stuff to here right now. I'm just explaining stuff to him, so it probably won't be as annoying, I guess, or tiring.
Kodo 11101001 says, like I ask people what is the chance they are in a simulation vs not.
Yeah, for example. Okay, let's think about that. To be honest, it's one of those things that is very tiring to think about. Because for a normal people, they generally just want 3 things. They want to be happy, they want to eat, and they want to rest. So those 3 are just what they want to do. Everything else is optional. So if you are just doing that,
Kodo 11101001 says, eat, rest and fuck.
yeah, but right now we are arguing about a lot of things, which is for normal people they don't care about. So when you ask people out about stuff like that, it becomes really tiring because it's those things that they don't think about too hard about it, you know? So I guess the least thing that I could suggest is think about this. Sometimes when you're engaging with other people, just make a mental note that other people cannot be as resilient or willing to engage with you for a very long time. So you could have some, some question and answer. But once you notice that it's already about 10 minutes of non-stop discussion, I guess you could ask them if they're tired already. Maybe you could have your discussion continued for another time. No, it's maybe something like that. Oh yeah, now I remember this. Yeah, this is a pretty unique location.
Watch out! This ends here. Die! Do your worst. I thought mud crabs more fearsome than you. I hope you die! Let's get this over with. I thought mud crabs do your worst.
Kodo 11101001 says, I was asking about sentience in a wheelchair because imagine the sentience of a body, nothing attached, and being friends with that and having that as a GF.
I mean, for example, that is quite okay. That kind of sentence is pretty darn unique. You know, like you're thinking of in a wheelchair, putting a body in a wheelchair and having that as a GF. But the problem is a wheelchair is literally not sentient, you know? But if you put another thing, that is something that is almost irrelevant. I mean, Hutch. Oh, I'm an idiot. Ebony Greaves, short sword. A lot of unique kind of unique arrow, but yeah, Daedric arrow is really the best one. Glass is 14.
Kodo 11101001 says, the wheelchair is irrelevant, it just helps me move this GF.
Yeah, I know. So why are we arguing about sentience of, of a wheelchair? Like, I get it. But, you know, such a bizarre thing to argue about.
Kodo 11101001 says, we are not arguing that.
What do you mean? Wait a second, okay. We weren't?
Codo 11101001 says. But imagine a ball of flesh the size of your thumb that's sentient and your GF.
I mean, if you're happy with that, I mean, it's the simplest argument for any kind of
Here will not be tolerated.
interspecies, you know. Because if you're happy with each other, then it's not really a problem, right? Arrow of the North Winds. Whoa, that frost damage is kind of insane. Yeah, too bad. The damage is only
Codo
9, but the frost damage is
111001
insane.
says. I don't mean another species. Imagine the human mind in the smallest possible space.
But, okay, now we're arguing in a very different way. Like, I get your point. Well, I guess you're arguing that it's a human. How do you it's kind of currently right now, it's literally impossible to make a human be that compact, right? So, so why even start to think about it, you know?
Codo 11101001 says. The chance is low but never zero.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But that is really a bizarre way to start to argue, to think about, you know? Door to private attic.
Codo 11101001 says. I want to fuck this microscopic human. Codo 11101001 says. Now scale this up to the size of a human. Imagine how smart it would be.
Well, as far as I know, yeah, I know a bigger brain is generally wiser, but, I get it. Theoretically, your logic is not really impossible, but why are we... Like I said, it's something that very few people think about.
Codo 11101001 says. The chance is low but never zero.
Yep. Yeah, again, fair enough, but... It's something that is like hard to think about because you know, why would people start to think about stuff like that? Yeah, part of me, I don't really want to explore this anymore. This is a waste of time. I'd rather get the Maroon's Razor at this
Kodo
point.
11100101 says, I want to fuck a 100% brain human.
I mean, sure, but oh man, I really don't want to say anything like that. I get it. I really get it, man. It's like, it's something that most people won't ever think about. Damn.
Die, damn you!
Kodo 11100101 says, imagine the whole human being a brain, how smart that would be, and imagine in the future it could be a cyborg, meaning even smarter.
Yeah, very possible as well. But of course, again, it's kind of fun to think about, but sometimes you need to get back in reality, okay? So you can do that, but you know, you need to relax a little. Eventually, it might happen, but don't think too hard about it, okay? Like, do something, divert yourself, like doing a job or something similar, okay?
Oh, let's get this over with. Oh, house cat.
Daedric.
Let's get this over with.
You've reached 120 minutes stream.
Kodo 11100101 says, bro, question, who was the first person to smile for happiness, because in apes it's for hate and dominance, like showing your teeth, but like who was the first human to happy smile?
Well, that is very interesting, but I don't think people would be able to answer that. Like, do you actually know? Okay, so there is something here. Tool to dispelling the barrier, but yeah, so I need 2 items. What would that be?
Well, if it's a fight you want, it's a fight you get.
Kodo 11100101 says, can you understand why people think demonic?
I mean, like that. You are talking about really bizarre things that most people don't actually think about, because like I said, eat and stuff. So if you start to think about stuff like that, it becomes bizarre. So I know that it's just the stuff that you want to communicate for, but you know, it can be more limited than that. You don't need to force yourself, okay? Okay, so where I would... Wait, there is a red. So where do we go? Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to go to top. Okay.
Kodo 11101001 says, I want GFS or BF. I want a gang or group or club.
Yeah, you can, but you don't need to think too hard about stuff like that, okay?
This ends. That the best you can do?
No, not really, but you know. Bow of Blizzards, Arrow of Harm, Mage Bane Arrow.
Kodo 11101001 says, but they say no because I'm a know-it-all.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yes. So that's why I guess you need to compromise for a little. Because otherwise, they will think you're too tiring or, you know, non-caring. Okay, what was the scroll of, what do you say? Scroll of transmutation. Transmute mineral on self. So there's a spell like that? Ah, okay.
Kodo 11101001 says, I want a super smart 30 PhD ladyboy BF.
That is awfully being specific, man. But I get your point, man. But whatever makes you happy, try to aim for that. And then, again, unfortunately, I'll be real. Not everybody is like you. So if you meet something that is close to what you want, you need to compromise. Otherwise, they will leave you again. Because you will become unbearable to them. What the hell? Excuse me? They're invisible.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
So your armor makes you Claymore of Winter.
Kodo 11101001 says, DM me after.
Oh, base ring of shadows. Okay.
Kodo11101001 says,
What do you
give me
mean?
tips.
It's not really a tip. More like, you know, unfortunately. What the hell's an enchanted bidwar? Oh, okay, that is what. Unfortunately, to simplify, you don't need too much suggestion to me, okay?
Says, to compromise.
It's like this. You just need to think about that other person. If they're not really that interested in talking about the stuff you want, then you should limit it, or even better, not talk about it with that person, you know? I know that's really hard, but unfortunately, that's the compromise you gotta do, because otherwise, you either just be alone but correct, or B, you might not be always correct, but at least you're happy with that person, you know? It's something like that. Where the hell are we supposed to be going? I'm confused now. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, we're going back to Thundercliff Village to get the udder. Oh, here we go. Thundercliff Forge. Okay. Wait, let me double check. I heard something. Maybe it's my wife coming. Okay, my commander is here. I'm gonna end the live stream. I'll see you next time, okay? So I gotta end the live stream like that. My commander is home. She doesn't like me when I'm gaming, so now I'm home. She's home. I gotta end the live stream, okay? Something like that. It hurts, but it's the only way to have a peaceful life with her. You know, in a weird way. So anyway, gotta end the live stream code. So for everybody else, thank you guys for watching. My name is Brother VM. I generally game, but I'm also here for a talk if you wanted to. So anyway, that's all for now. Thank you guys for now, and see you later. Bye bye.